Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're doing something a little different, something I think is really fascinating. We're taking a shortcut.
A shortcut, yeah. Directly into the mind of an artist.
Exactly. We're looking at the artist Jerson Jimenez, but our sources aren't reviews or critiques. We're going straight to the source, his own words, from his Über mich or About Me section.
Right. And for you, the listener, this is basically the master key. We get to bypass all the usual interpretation and just see the blueprint. He lays out his entire artistic creed himself.
It gives us the why before we even get to the what. And we have to start where he starts, with this one single statement that changes everything.
It's so powerful.
He says, Ich male nicht, zu erklären. Ich male, zu erinnern.
I paint not to explain, I paint to remember. And you have to just sit with that for a second. The distinction he's making is huge.
It is. I mean, explaining is intellectual, right? It's logic, it's words.
Yeah, it's justification. But remembering, that's something else entirely. That suggests intuition, a return to something you already know deep down.
Right. So why does he need to reject explanation so forcefully? What's so limiting about the intellect when it comes to his art?
I think he sees it as a barrier to the truth he's trying to access. He says his art comes from an inner realm, an inner space.
An inner space.
And crucially, he defines this space as a place beyond words. So if you can't use words to explain it, you have to use feeling to remember it.
So what is it that we're supposed to be remembering? What have we forgotten?
That's precisely the question he raises. It suggests the truths he's after aren't new discoveries. They're, ancient shared knowledge that's just been buried under all the noise of our analytical world.
And he actually tells us what he's trying to remember.
He does. He's very clear. He says he believes in the Wahrheit der Liebe und der Intuition, the truth of love and intuition. That's the goal. That's the memory.
And this inner space, it's not just his own private little world. He calls it the place where we all meet.
Exactly. So the act of creation might be personal, but the source, the inspiration, that's universal. The art is meant to be a connection point for everyone.
A conduit, not a riddle.
A conduit is the perfect word.
Oh, yeah.
And he gives us these two incredible metaphors for how he creates, which really reinforces this idea of flowing from the personal to the universal.
The first one is that his art is an echo meines Herzens, an echo of my heart.
So it's visceral, it's authentic, it's not thought, it's felt.
And the second, this one is beautiful. He calls it a Gespräch mit der Schönheit des Unsichtbaren, a conversation with the beauty of the invisible.
A conversation, so it's a dialogue, a spiritual back and forth. When you put that together with his core values of love and intuition, it becomes clear that his art is a kind of spiritual truth-telling.
Okay, that brings us to how he actually positions art in the world. He makes this really bold statement that just takes it completely out of the commercial, transactional world.
Oh, yeah. He says unequivocally, Kunst ist für mich kein Produkt. Art is not a product for me.
I mean, for an artist working today, that's a huge declaration.
It's a declaration of intent. It means his work is not market-driven. It's spiritually necessary for him.
So if it's not a product, what is it?
He gives us three powerful words to replace product. He says his art is a ceremony, a prayer, and a song.
Wow. Okay, let's break those down. A ceremony. That implies ritual, intention.
Discipline, yeah. A formalized, almost sacred act. It's not just splashing paint around, it's a practice. Then he says it's a prayer, a jabet. That implies communication with something higher, something deeper than himself.
Connecting that inner space to a greater truth.
Exactly.
And then the last one, a song. This is what brings it all back to that core idea of remembrance.
This part is just astonishing. He says it's a song that you might have known long ago before you heard it.
Right. So creativity isn't about making something brand new.
No. The ultimate creative act is rediscovery. The art is just a trigger for a memory you already have inside you, a truth you already possess.
Which all ties into what he calls the Heilige im Alltäglichen, the secret in the everyday. The physical act of painting is his ceremony for finding that.
And this is where a little bit of his biography becomes really interesting. We know he was born in the Dominican Republic and has lived in Austria for over 30 years.
Right, resident in Vienna since 91.
But we also know that for 2 decades, from 1998 to 2017, he was an adjunct professor for sports at the University of Vienna.
Sports? I know, that feels like such a disconnect at first. An abstract painter of the soul who's also a sports professor.
It seems like it, but if you think about his philosophy, it makes perfect sense.
How so?
Well, what is sports? It's fundamentally pre-verbal. It's about muscle memory, immediate action, pure intuition. The body acts before the mind has time to explain.
Ah, okay, I see now.
The discipline for ceremony and the discipline for sports, they both come from a kind of embodied, non-intellectual knowledge. The physical mastery he taught is directly connected to the intuitive discipline he uses in his art.
That makes so much sense. It grounds his entire philosophy in the body, not just the mind. So let's talk more about that bicultural reality, the Dominican Republic and Austria.
He recognizes that geographical split, of course, but he defines his true home, his anchor, as something else entirely.
He says his home isn't a country, but the feeling when color hits the canvas and the soul breathes within it.
It's an internal home, a portable one. He creates his home every time he paints.
And because his own reality is rooted in these two different cultures, his art has to become the bridge between them.
Yes, and he says that explicitly. He calls his work a Brücke zwischen Welten, a bridge between worlds.
But he's not just talking about bridging, say, Vienna and Santo Domingo.
No, it's much deeper than geography. He says the bridge connects the internal worlds we all carry deep within us, and which seems so familiar.
So again, it comes back to the universal. His personal bicultural experience becomes the catalyst for an art that's meant to transcend all borders.
It's a bridge between the intuitive you and the intellectual you, the seen and the unseen.
Okay, so we have the philosophy remembering, not explaining, and we have the intention building a bridge. So how does he actually get the viewer, you, to cross that bridge? What's the mechanism?
Well, he sticks to his guns. The process has to bypass the intellect. He says, in my pictures, you meet yourself, not in the head, but in feeling, in your own inner world.
To do that, you need a different kind of language, since words are out.
He introduces his tool, die Sprache der Farben, the language of colors. That is his vocabulary.
Color is the medium for intuition.
For Jimenez, color isn't just decoration. It is the pure linguistic medium for that echo of the heart we talked about.
And we can see this so clearly when he talks about his portraits. I find this part fascinating. Most portrait artists are trying to capture a likeness, an external.
An explanation of a face. But he's not doing that. He's trying to paint the soul. He says he seeks the essences, the true colors that characterize each person's interiority.
It's like the ultimate anti-realistic portrait. The truth is inside, not outside.
Exactly. And this is where he gives us this incredible concrete analogy that just makes it all click. He says he observes faces through the lens of a kaleidoscope.
A kaleidoscope? That's such a perfect image.
It's brilliant. A photo captures one static moment, right? A fixed explanation. But a kaleidoscope, it takes these little broken fragments, these different joints, and arranges them into beautiful, complex, always shifting patterns.
So the true self isn't one fixed thing.
It's a dynamic, changing structure that you can only really see through intuition and color. You're not meant to see a face, you're meant to see the geometry of a soul.
And the viewer is an active part of that, remembering.
It brings it all full circle. The colors speak to the heart echoes the invisible, and the invisible leads you to that universal space where you meet yourself. Not through explanation,
but through intuitive recall. Okay, so let's just quickly unpack what we've learned. Jerson Jimenez's work is all about intuitive remembrance, not intellectual explanation.
Right. It's a discipline, a ceremony rooted in love, intuition, and finding the sacred in the everyday.
And he uses the language of colors, which is kind of supercharged by his own bicultural journey, to build a bridge directly into your inner world.
The power of it is just its total commitment to intent. He takes all the pressure off. He tells the artist and the viewer, you don't have to explain anything. Just feel. Just remember.
Which leaves us with one final, I think, really provocative thought for you to take away. It goes back to that beautiful phrase we started with.
The song you knew before you heard it.
Yeah. If art truly is a song you knew before you heard it, what does that suggest about our most profound values? Things like love, intuition.
Are they things we have to go out and learn? Or are they just truths that are already inside us, waiting for us to quiet the world down long enough to hear them again?
It kind of encourages you to think that maybe the greatest wisdom isn't something you acquire.
It's something you remember.
Food for thought. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the philosophy of Jerson Jimenez.